Hello friends, how are you today? It's Sharon here from the blog I Restore Stuff, coming to you live from Essential Stencil page, ready for some spring crafting today. So if you are watching the replay, please comment the word replay within 24 hours after we've gone live and you get a chance to win a gift card. But if you're joining us here live, we'll wait for a few more people to get on, but we're going to get started with our projects. I've got 2 projects for you today and probably 2 techniques to show you today. So we will be showing you some embossed or raised stenciling. Hi Bronwyn, how are you? And the second thing I wanted to show you was with one of our layered stencils and how to properly get those layers happening. It does actually make your job easier, makes it a little bit more arty when we've got those layered stencils instead of trying to tape off all those areas. So I'll show you one of our spring layered stencils today. So there's lots to tell you, so as you're joining in, hello Renee, hi Bronwyn, hi Melissa, everybody's joining in watching. I will just track us over here on my laptop so I can see some comments coming through. Perfect. All right, so there's a lot to tell you, so I don't want to miss anything. First of all, I've got all of the description in our description of this live, so you may see that now or you may see that after we've finished the live. You can check for any links that you might have missed. You can get them all there. Let's see. And also, hi, so thank you so much for saying hello, everybody. Thank you for the sharing of our live, for sharing the love around, sprinkling the love around Facebook world. The first thing is that the Stencil of the Month Club is extended. So I will be showing you something from the Stencil of the Month Club today when I teach you the raised stenciling, the 3D technique with stenciling. So I'll be using that to do that. We'll go through that really quickly. That has been extended till Friday the 26th. So for me, that's tomorrow. For you, you've got 2 more days. So there you go, 2 more days. I'm in Australia, so it's Thursday morning here. I have to kind of shift my mind to the USA time. All right, so that's the Stencil of the Month Club. And also, speaking of stencilofthemonthclub.com, the club shop has opened. So if you are a club member, don't miss out. That's open for a limited time or until stocks last. That's just exclusive to Stencil of the Month Club members. Now, if you're not a member of the Stencil of the Month Club, you can join using my code IRestoreStuff and get a free month on the basic plan or 50% off your first month on the premium plan. So use my code IRestoreStuff for both essentialstencil.com for savings there and also for stencilofthemonthclub.com, which is a monthly subscription. You get a set of 3 stencils plus an add-on if you opt into the add-on every month. They ship about mid-month. So today I'm showing you the February, what are we in, January? February Stencil of the Month, which should ship mid-January. So I'm showing you the Stencil of the Month, plus we've got spring. A new spring collection is now available for pre-orders. So I will show you that set today. For those of you who missed out on the vintage transfers, that's the little stamps, the vintage butterflies, and what else was the other vintage one? There's a set of 3 vintage transfers. They're all back in stock, guys. Use my code, IRestoreStuff. Save you 10% there. That's on the regular stencil site. I'm just listing off some things that we had to tell you today so I don't miss anything. The new spring collection is now available, and guess what? I will show you a sneak peek of the Easter 2024 collection, which is not available on the website yet for pre-orders until Sunday night on the app. So you need to download the Essential Stencil app to get a first in on those. Hi Betty, and also on the Monday they'll be available site-wide, so essentialstencil.com. But if you're using the app, use my code IRestoreStuff and get your 10% off. That's for the Easter bundle, but the spring bundle is now available. And don't forget, guys, there's free shipping all of January, so take advantage of that. You can order your spring stencils now, order your Easter ones when it comes on Sunday or Monday. And you can also, last thing I had to tell you was you can unlock free gifts on orders over $50, $65 and $90. So if you get over those amounts, there are free gifts for everybody. I'll show you some of those free gifts today. They may have run out of some of them, so they will switch them out for other stencils, so you won't miss out. All right, let's have a look, first of all, at the Stencil of the Month Club today, and that's the first thing I want to be showing you. how to do some raised stenciling on using their gorgeous flourishes. So the Stencil of the Month Club has all of these beautiful designs. You'll see it at stencilofthemonthclub.com, and they have extended it till Friday. Now this is the premium plan that I'm showing you. I'll just show you these super quickly. We've got some gorgeous flourishes, which as a furniture painter, I love this idea to put these on the corners of cabinets and things like that, or the corners of your drawers. You can create an embossed look, which I'll be showing you today, adding some glaze, and it really hits all the details. So there's great ideas you can do with that. There's also some borders. So these can also be used on drawers, furniture drawers, or on your signs for the borders of your signboards. So that's the second one. And then the third one is these gorgeous sayings. Jesus is the key to heaven, but faith unlocks the door. And then there is the serenity prayer right there. So there's some faith-inspired ones, also some furniture, or I call them furniture flourishes, but you can use them for your signboard making. Put them in the corners of your signs, which I'll be doing today. So that's the premium plan. This is stencilofthemonthclub.com. Use my code IRestoreStuff. This is the add-on. The add-on, you will get Faith Over Fear, a couple of extra flourishes. Whoops, I'm going the wrong way. The joy of the Lord is my strength. And you'll also get this one here, greater is he who is in you than he that's in the world. That's the add-on. So there's optional add-on to add to your Stencil of the Month Club each month. You get to opt into that. And then the basic plan just comes with 3 a lot smaller stencils. So you'll be able to see the difference at stencilofthemonthclub.com. Basic plan, we've got Faith Over Fear, The Joy of the Lord is my strength with a flourish, and then 3 beautiful flourishes, which I'll show you right there. So that's the basic plan. I'm just moving through these really quickly, folks, because we've got a lot to tell you about today, and I've covered some of the stuff that we've mentioned when I first jumped on live. So if you missed anything, you can always catch the replay. All right, so for our Stencil of the Month Club design, we're going to be using that in a minute. Let me give you a sneak peek of Easter designs, and then I'll move on to the spring set. So Easter is not available for pre-orders until Sunday night on the app, Monday on the main website. Okay, so we've got the Easter 2024 bundle, and that is made up of the following. I'm just giving you a sneak peek here. You can't even see these on the website. Your ambassadors are showing you just this week a sneak peek. So also don't forget that you can unlock free gifts on orders over 50, 65 and 90. Also, join us live at the end of our live. We'll be choosing 3 winners to get $20 gift vouchers for Essential Stencil, so you can go shopping with that stencil bucks. Okay, so these are the spring collection. No, this is the Easter collection. I'm confusing myself now. We've got the bunnies. There's a 6-pack of gorgeous little rabbits and Easter sayings. So we've got chocolate, jelly beans, I'm just here, gorgeous Easter themed there. There's the carrot patch. This one's called Bunny Bait. It says Bunny Bait, which has got the cute little carrots on here. So there's that. So this is just a sneak peek, folks. I'm not going to open them all up because we've got a lot to show you today. But this is beautiful, Words of Faith. And so this all like this, faithful, 2 Corinthians 5:7. So you can see the different ones we've got there. Loved, oops, is that focusing properly? Those are a 6-pack of nice, long, skinny ones. It's 8 by 3 inches. These are beautiful spring crosses. So there's a few different designs. There's the size of the cross right there, and you've got 3 different cross designs. These are all available on Sunday night on the app, so don't forget to download the app. Use my code IRestoreStuff to get your 10% off the Easter pre-orders. He is risen, round, gorgeous for a round signboard, perfect. Okay, so that's the He is risen with the beautiful crown of thorns wreath and the Easter lily. I love that. The other one for Easter is this one, He is risen, and I haven't seen this one before, Hosanna. I don't think Essential Stencil has come up with the Hosanna sign yet, and it's got gorgeous palm branches for Palm Sunday, so isn't that fun? So that is a 16 by 7. We're just quickly going through the Easter collection, which is not available for pre-orders just yet. but it will be on Sunday night on the app, Monday on the main website, essentialstencil.com. Use my code, I restore stuff. This one is a round, again, used for these round signs. Now this one's a little bit small for this one, but you put the, you know, the bunnies at the bottom, and then it's, or no, maybe at the top. Hang on, here we go. That at the top, and then welcome to our burrow at the bottom. And of course you need a larger round to be able to do that one. I think it's suitable for 16-inch rounds. My round there is about a 12-inch. That's cute. And then Easter lily patterned design. Now with our pattern designs lately, Essential Stencil has been giving you a bonus mini, which is really cute, on the back of those. So that is the Easter collection coming to your Essential Stencil app on Sunday night. Don't miss out on the pre-orders for those. And let's have a look at the spring collection really quickly, and then I will get started on our projects. We've got 2 tonight. I'll be teaching you some techniques. I love to teach you techniques. And one of them I will be using today. So here is the spring collection available now. Now your link for that is in the description of the live. I've listed all those announcements that I've listed at the beginning of our live. We've got a bundle of 8 different sets. Oh no. And then 2 transfers. So 8 stencil sets and 2 rub-on transfer sets. Okay. So we've got the It's Time to Bloom stencil with 3 different designs on there. It's Time to Bloom plus those other 3. I'm just trying to see if I've got it in the right spot there. Gorgeous. Then we've got sunflower tiles. So these go right out to the edge, as in, like, remember the Mexican tiles that Essential Stencil had a while back? I'm not sure if there's any of those available left, but these are sunflower tiles. Great idea for actual tiles. That'd be fun to paint them on, or for backgrounds, or borders. Lovely florals, this one's called, and we have a 6-pack of different floral designs. So I can't name all the flowers, but maybe you can. And this one is a layered set. It's a hummingbird trio. Oh, I think it's layered, yes. We've got a back layer of a silhouette, so you could even use the silhouettes by themselves. And then you can put the layer on the top, which gives you all the details. And I'll be showing you a layered stencil with sunflowers today. This is the fern stencil with the bonus smaller fern in the back. And then this one, don't you love this? It's an ivy vine. So imagine that flowing down from a sign and then putting a big sign or signage underneath. Even imagine it going across and having signage down this way. So many different fun uses for that. I had this one set out ready to do, but then I noticed someone else already did that this week, so I won't be doing this one. But it's called the Welcome Dragonfly Door Hanger, and that is a layered stencil also. And it's very, very, very clear instructions on how to use that. So that one is going to be a lot of fun. And then there's the one I'm going to be using today, is a sunflower trio 6x8, and there's 3 different sunflower designs. So you've got A, B or C, and there's layers involved in that. So I'll be showing you layered stencils today. And then the 2 transfer sets we've got is the honey pot and some cute little daisies and flowers and the gorgeous bees. Isn't that pretty? As well as gorgeous truck. Look how huge they are. Isn't that beautiful? Spring truck transfers. And of course we've got a purple truck there as well. So that is a part of the spring bundle. Now you save, if you get the whole bundle at once, you actually save a lot on getting the bundle. Plus, if you use my code, I restore stuff, you can actually save 10% on the whole bundle as well. But you can also buy them individually. So don't think you're going to miss out. Grab a hold of those individually. All right, so let's have a look at what I'm going to do today using the Stencil of the Month Club first, and then I'll show you our sunflower trio in a minute. Now, I've done one part of this earlier because I wanted to see how long it took to dry using my hairdryer, and I want to show you this really closely. So this is using the Stencil of the Month Club Flourish. So you can imagine that on the corner of a drawer, or on a piece of furniture, a cabinet door or something like that. I've actually created this, I don't know if you can see, it's a little bit raised. So like a 3D look using some embossed paste. And there are several ways you can make it 3D by different sort of embossing mediums and things like that. I know Fusion Mineral Paint has a smooth embossing paste. So let's have a look at that, and I'll be doing another one on this side over here. Let me see. Everything is beautiful, they're saying. People are loving the spring stencil set, so it's got so many nice stencils and transfers. Yes, I'm looking forward to getting using all of them, using the Easter ones as well. Okay, so the one I used from the Stencil of the Month Club set is this stencil, this flourish down the bottom here. So we've got this one here. I'm not sure exactly which way I used it. I'll point you down here so I can show you what we're working on. I've got my board over here ready to use for our sunflower stencil. It must have been this way. There we go. So that's how I used this on this side, and I've done some raised stenciling there. Now I want to use it in this corner up here. So I could go and just turn it around that way, or you can actually flip it over. It really doesn't matter which way you go. I'm just going to turn it that way, and I'll show you. And then we'll add some words into the middle. I could probably put the words on first, but to sort of make sure that they're dry. It's okay. We'll deal with it. Okay, so don't go anywhere, because at the end of our live we're going to choose some lucky winners for 3 lucky winners for gift card prizes, $20 gift card from Essential Stencil. All right, there was a lot of announcements today, guys. Yes, the borders are great. So if you haven't joined the Stencil of the Month Club, you can do that using my code I Restore Stuff and getting free month on the basic plan, or 50% off the premium plan. Okay, I'm just using, this is an Australian brand of embossing paint, but you can, embossing paste. You could use, you tell me guys, what product do you use for raised stenciling? Some of you have done this before. I'm using one called Embossed. This is from my artisan paint brand that I stock here in Australia. But I also stock the Fusion brand. They have smooth embossing paste. So if anyone wants a link for that, I can definitely get that for you, because both of them are great. And now with the embossing pastes that some of us use, you can actually mix it in with a colour to make it a different coloured paint. So I could mix it in with yellow and create a yellow embossing paste, or with green or any of the other colours to create a fun colour on that. Now I'm not going to use any colour today. I've just used the embossing paste plain because I like the white, and I'm going to do a technique where I'll use a glaze over the top of the whole thing, and you'll see that that'll change the colour completely as well. So let's get started, and I'm going to use just a bit of the embossing paste, and all you have to do is just kind of wipe it across the top of the stencil. I'm going to try and hold this really super steady. Now I do have this line, it's 2 boards joined together, so I've got kind of a line in the middle, a groove, which causes a little bit of a wobble. It is probably better if you used it on a really smooth surface, but I'm just laying down the embossing paste and just dragging it across the stencil like that. And we'll see if we can just drag a little bit more over. And might need a bit more, but we'll see how we go. I'll just lay it down further. Nope, might just need a fraction more on my little, notice what I'm using here. These Essential Stencil transfer tools are coming in handy for even this kind of embossing or raised 3D stenciling, whatever you'd like to call it. Let me see if anyone has, someone hasn't done embossing. Hi Pat, yeah, I'll give you the link to the Fusion embossing paste after I finish the live. I'll go back and find your comment, because I've got a Fusion affiliate link there that you can grab that, and it's called Smooth Embossing Paste. I'd be happy to give that to you. Okay, so here, if you are watching from Australia here, you can get this from my website, irestorestuff.com. Okay, so I've done now that. You don't want to press too hard and scrape it all off. So now that I've got that sort of just laid down on top. I was going to try and lift it up to show you a bit closer, but sorry, push that down even further. But I'm worried that I might just bump my stencil and then kind of make a mess. So we don't want that. So I've just laid it down. It doesn't have to be really, you know, too high raised. We just want a nice kind of smoothish surface. And then we just have to lift it up very gently, just straight up without bumping it. And now you can see, and there are sometimes you've gone a little bit too much on there and it might raise a little bit further, but you can see that's the bit that I've just done. You can see it looks a little bit raised. Can you see that? So that is now really wet, so we don't want to do anything on that just yet until it's completely dry. I might be able to, oops, I'm going to have to wipe this off. I will just throw this in the sink over here. Okay, so I will grab my hairdryer here to just give that a good drying. Because this one's dried completely. And then we're going to add some words into the middle here. And I thought I would use the Faith Over Fear from, this is the basic plan from the Stencil of the Month Club. So we'll use this, but I'm going to do it going, you could do it going long ways, I suppose, like this. But I'm going to use it going across. So Jackie's asking, can you get these stencils on Essential or only? These particular ones I'm doing right now are from stencilofthemonthclub.com. So these are exclusive to club members. But if you join the club today using my code IRestoreStuff, you can get a free month in the basic plan or 50% off your first month in the premium plan. So this is just using this embossing medium, and it doesn't take too much to get that to dry. So that is, it's pretty much dry. It may just have a little bit, if it's too raised and too thick, it could have a little bit of, I don't know, sponginess to it, but that feels fairly solid right now. So I've got to remember which way, I've got my hook on the back here, so I want to make sure that my words are up the correct way. Mel, you said you need to rejoin the monthly plan. Yeah, so use my code IRestoreStuff and you'll be able to rejoin like that. So here it is, Faith Over Fear. Now it would fit here. I'm going to just tape off those little flourishes here because I think that I will be doing this like this. Now my words, my big words, faith and fear, I'm going to go here and I'm going to put the over just on the top side of that line there so it doesn't all get lost. But the others, I'm happy for them to cross over the line. Oop, this one just knocked off a little edge there. So sometimes if it's too high and it peaks, you might get a bit of edge that can get knocked off. Now, that is the embossing paste. So you can see how this would work great on furniture pieces and things like that, wouldn't it? You love the green colour. Now this, I believe, is Fusion Mineral Paint's French eggshell, I think that is. It's a lovely Easter colour. I was going to use it for an Easter sign and then I just changed my mind today. I thought, no, I had already pre-painted it earlier. I'm just adding a little tiny bit of chalk paint into a dish. You can use any kind of water-based paint for your stenciling. Now, when we're stenciling, remember to use a cardboard or something to offload your paint onto. So I want to put I'm going to put the word over. I'm starting with that because I'm not using this. See, I'll just show you. You could use it like this and have your sign going up that way, but I feel like it'll fill it out more if I use it this way and do Faith Over Fear. If you know me and if you've watched me for any length of time, you know that I'd love to change things up a bit. So I'm just going to eyeball the centre. This is my measuring. And place that in about the centre there. And you can tape it off if you'd like. I'm just dipping the paintbrush in the white paint, then offloading my brush onto my cardboard so I don't get too much. Now you could use that raised embossing paste for the words also. It doesn't have to just be for the flourishes. You might want to have your whole stencil out looking 3D. You can do that too. Essential Stencils answering, yes, you can subscribe to both plans. So you can subscribe to the basic plan and the premium plan. I think that would be 2 different subscriptions, and you can do that on stencilofthemonthclub.com. A lot of people like to do that because they do like the smaller version. Although this Faith Over Fear, this font seems just a little larger than the Faith Over Fear in the premium plan, but they've got a lot more, a lot more options of sayings and stencils in the premium plan. Okay, so I'm going to use the word faith right here, and I'm just putting that right in the center. I'm crossing over that center line, and I do want to just use my painter's tape and tape the little floral flourish so that I don't accidentally paint on that, because I'm not going to use that in this design. So I'll do the same with the bottom with the word fear. So we're using a couple of techniques today. The first one here that I'm showing you is embossing. And of course, every live we usually do some stenciling techniques too. So I do have a little bit of a bump in my board because I've joined 2 pieces of wood together. You can see the join there. It's just 2 scraps of wood that I just joined together. So I just have to hold down the stencil really well, and I'm doing sort of a pounce and a little bit of a swirl in those areas where the join it creates a bumpy feeling. No other way to describe it. Jackie, you ordered the trucks. The truck transfers are amazing, and put those together with some of the beautiful spring words and sayings, and you've got yourself a beautiful sign, or welcome sign. You could put welcome on it. They're gorgeous for your spring decor or for selling at markets and things like that. Okay, so there's the word faith. So we've got nice crisp edges there because we've used a dry brush method. And remember, these are the flourishes. Oh, that's slightly darker white than the white over here. I could have used a darker white maybe. And so I'm going to put these tapes down here over this little flourish, flower, leaf, whatever you want to call it. Don't go anywhere, because we are going to be giving away prizes at the end of our live. And also, I'm going to show you something else. I'm going to show you the sunflower trio from the spring collection. Okay, so there's my faith there. I just want to make sure that I've got the same amount of gap there as I do there. You could tape it down if you're unsure. Janet, you said you had one bleed when you was brushing on a sealer. Oh, you had to sand it off and start over. Yeah, that's true. So you've got to be careful when you're sealing it that your water-based paint has completely dried really, really well, and then seal it. Sometimes it depends too on, maybe there could be, your undercoat, whatever you've coated the board on. If you've used anything oil-based on the board, I'm not sure what would cause that to happen. But yeah, it does have to be really dry is the best. Now, I could go over this for a second coat to sort of brighten that up a bit. I'll see. I think it kind of looks like it stands out enough. Faith over fear. That's our flourishes there. And I wanted to show you, so I'll leave that dry, and then I wanted to show you using a glazing technique. So we're going to use a charcoal black glaze, or you can use, Fusion has a clear glaze that you can mix with any paint. Again, just like the embossing paste, mix it with any paint. You can create a glaze of any colour. Grab a plastic bag, put my white paintbrush in there in case I need to paint something white later. So let's take a look and see if that, I might just hit that with a hairdryer and we'll finish this project off before we start our next one. Would a spray sealer work? Sally's asking. Yes, spray sealer would work. I just always use If I'm using water-based paints, I use a water-based sealer, and just make sure that it's, you know, any kind of sealer should work. Water-based sealers work great because if it's an oil-based one, they tend to yellow over time. So I definitely don't use oil-based sealers on my white painted things because they can yellow, or your very light coloured pieces of furniture or signs and things like that. Hi Anita, how are you? Hi Terry. Thank you, Kay. Anita says you'll just make this look so easy. We have had a lot of practice. I've been stenciling now for a number of years, so practice makes perfect. Okay, so now this is flat, this is raised. Let me just show you that again and see if you can tell that it's looking a little bit 3D. And then I have done the paint in a different color. So this is embossing paste, this is paint. And it's a chalk paint, so it feels almost like it's got a little bit of raising to it. Okay, so now I'm going to use some glaze. Now you can get glaze, Fusion Mineral Paint's got a clear glaze, and you can mix it with any color, so you can mix it with a little bit of black and create similar charcoal black glaze. This is Artisan's charcoal black glaze, and I stock this here in Australia because it's an Australian brand, but yes, there are glazes all over the place. Oh, I've got it on the lid. I don't like it when I get it all over the lid. Now with glaze, you really only need the tiniest bit, and this is going to change the whole look of it. So if you do like the look of that right now, you can leave it as is, but I just wanted to show you a fun glazing technique and how it can sit in the grooves and the cracks and the crevices. Even it will sit in the wood grain and give you a completely different look. Now I might try doing it on the bottom first so you can kind of really see a difference, and then we'll go over the top. I'm going to stand up for this because I just want to look down on it and see how we're going. You can also do the edges, so don't forget to use the edges. Now what I'm going to do is going to look like a horrible mess to start with. We are just slapping it everywhere, and you do sort of work in sections with glaze, and you do also have a little bit more open time, which is a lot more drying time. Now the glaze is not the same as a sealer, and so you would also seal the glaze afterwards. So I've just now brushed that in all the crevices, even on the chalk paint. It probably will sit on the chalk paint a little bit more because that's more of a porous finish. So, and you can go over the edge here as well. So let's get that done. Yeah, if I was using a mineral paint, it probably would be a better idea for the stencil because I use chalk paint. It could just, the glaze could sit in there. Often if I'm using chalk paint, which is a porous finish, I will seal it first and then do your glaze. Okay, so see how messy that looks. I look like I've just ruined it. We're going to wipe that back now with I'm using a dry cloth first, but if I wanted to use a wet cloth to just remove a little bit more of that glaze, which I feel like I need a wet cloth now because it's not coming back as far as I'd like it to, but it'll remove it from the high points and it'll sit in the grooves and crevices of your piece. So see how this is working? It's not coming off as much on the stencil, but I can always go back over the stencil and make that really pop. So see how it's now sitting, we've got wiped it off the top of the flourish, but because it's raised, it's sitting in the very details of that flourish right there. So this is what you can do on your furniture, on some cabinets. Have you got any furniture painters here? I'll do this second portion of this so you can see the overall look, and of course we should do the sides as well. But you want to get that glaze right into all of the grooves of those flourishes. And you can see it sitting in that wood grain down there too. So, and then because that is chalk paint, the paint of the stencil, it has really stuck to the stencil and it's not kind of wiping off like I thought it might. So I'm going to just go over that after I've done the glaze, and we'll stencil that again, and I'll show you how we can make that work. Make this glaze go on those edges as well. Now, like I said before, glaze has a little bit more of an open time or a drying time. I'm using a wet cloth, and we're going to wipe back, and we can see the glaze sitting in the grooves. And it will be a little bit tacky to start with, or sticky, so I'm using a wet, damp cloth to move it back further. I start with a dry cloth because sometimes a wet cloth will just remove everything, and I don't want to remove everything. I want it to sit nicely into the flourishes. So I hope you can see the idea that it creates using the glaze on top. And I know that you can't see the words as well now, but we're going to fix that in just a minute. Okay, so see those gorgeous details there? So someone's asking, is glaze and antique wax the same thing? No, glaze is different than wax, because wax you leave on and you sort of rub it in, and it gives a similar effect, but they are kind of very different mediums. Wax is wax-based and glaze is like a water-based product. So then I just go over it, have a little look, and I think, do I want some more bright spots showing up in that flourish? Maybe. You always work with the grain as well. You don't work against the grain, because you want it to look a little bit like you've got some little striations going across the thing. So we could just brighten that up by just rubbing that glaze off the top of the flourish a bit more. We could even brighten up the words a bit. And then just a little bit less glaze on there. So there you go. Now let's see if we can just hit that with a hairdryer. And that'll help dry the glaze up a little bit quicker. So making sure that's not sticky anymore, and then I'm just going to go over this again, making sure that my faith over fear stands out nicely. So I just put it exactly where it was, grab that white brush again, and my chalk paint. And then once you've done this, you would just go over it with some clear sealer. And like someone suggested before, you can do a spray sealer. Thank you, Donna, for sprinkling our live. That's so helpful. It lets others see that we're live right now doing a project. And if you've just joined us, we did go over a bunch of fun announcements that Essential Stencil has this week at the beginning of their live, so don't miss the replay. You'll catch all of those different stencil releases from the spring set, the Easter set coming up on Sunday night in the app, and announcements with our Stencil of the Month Club that it's extended. So see how that faith is now popped out a little bit more. See that? Faith is now a little bit brighter than that fear, which is good. Faith should be brighter than fear, right? And I'm going to add a little bit more to this word over. And then we'll add a bit more to the word fear. Thank you, Shelley, for sharing our live. Lovely. We love it. Don't forget, guys, my code is right here. I restore stuff. And that's for both this, the Stencil of the Month Club, and for the main essentialstencil.com website. So that's stencilofthemonthclub.com, which is where you'll find these stencils, and then essentialstencil.com, which is the main site. All right, so that makes that stand out more, doesn't it? So then later on, I'll just go ahead and seal that. So there's another closer look at those flourishes and how it sits into the timber grain. You can see that there when you put a glaze over the top. So that's the first project. Yay, finished, one. Now I want to show you the sunflower set from our spring. Oh no, let me show you this first. Guys, did you know that if you order from the Stencil of the Month, not Stencil of the Month, from the essentialstencil.com website, they're giving away free gifts. Free gifts. Here are just some of them. So once you reach $50, $65 and $90, those are the tiers. Once you reach those tiers, you get a free gift. It could be the bumblebee set of 3. It could be this sunflower arrangement that is a layered stencil. So there's all the instructions on how to layer your sunflowers right here. It could be your own kind of beautiful. All right, so it could be some of those, or it could be that they've run out of some of these and they will give you something else. But there is a bonus for anyone purchasing over $50, $65 and $90 respectively. Any of those, you can, everything that you order on the Essential Stencil website qualifies to go towards those free gift tiers. So don't miss out on that. There is our first project from today, and I'm just going to do this one really quickly. We are using, this is in the spring collection, which is available now to pre-order on essentialstencil.com, and it has 9 different pieces to this because it's a layered stencil, okay? But we've got 3 different sunflower designs, that's them there, 1, 2, 3, and each of those has a layer. Don't be intimidated by the layers. They're actually there to help you, okay, to make it so much easier for you. Now I'm just using this wooden framed sign that I'm putting in behind here. I've just painted the backboard. I've just painted it black. I've taken the glass out of the frame and I'm using it like a little bit of a farmhousey sign here. So that's what I'm using. Just painted it plain black, and now I'm going to use my layers. So I've pulled them all out of the pack. Now they're all labeled beautifully. I love sunflowers too, and we have all the instructions on how to layer them right there on the back. So we've got A, B, C, and each of the sunflowers has a different look about it. Okay, so we're going to just work with A, sunflower A. So I've grabbed the 3 stencils that you'll need for layer A, and they all say, they're etched at the top, A, B or C. So let me see if I can hold this up here. You might be able to see it better. But they're all labelled. It says A, layer 1. A, layer 1. And then you'll see A, layer 2 at the top. And then for this one, you'll see A, layer 3 and A, layer 4. So we've got 4 different layers. They've just made this one is the center of the sunflower and made it easier for you. So I am literally just going by the picture here, and I've chosen a few different colors. So I've got 2 shades of yellow, and I'm just using Fusion Mineral paint today. I'm using 2 shades of yellow. We've got a little star, which is a bright yellow, mustard, which is a mustardy color, and we've got 2 shades of green. I'm choosing bayberry and then carriage house. So there's sort of just slightly different in shade or tone, and then 2 different browns, and this will be for the center part of the sunflower. So we've got chocolate, which is a dark brown, and then woodwick, which is a lighter brown. Okay, so we are first of all going to go with layer 1. So we're doing sunflower A, layer 1, and I'm going to tape that down because I want it right in the center of my sign. I'm not going to put any words with it. Sometimes I think that simple is best, less is best. So we've got sunflower A, layer 1, going down. Now I do want green here and yellow here. So I want my first shade of yellow. What am I going to do? I think I'll do the brighter yellow here, and then I'll put the mustard on the next layer. Someone says good way to keep you so you don't goof it up. They are really good at explaining all their instructions on the back of it, so you've got that as well. All right, I'm just using a 3/4 inch brush. Now our brushes, I think I've got a link for that, but brushes I think are back in stock on the Essential Stencil website. So don't see these little crosses? You can mark those with a pencil, and that will help you to line up. Each layer has those little crosses on the side. They are your registration marks, so you can line them up. But don't accidentally stencil them, okay? So you could put your little pencil marking in here, little pencil here. I didn't bring a pencil. I brought a pen, so I won't do that right now. I'll turn the pen off, but you can just mark those. But then once you've marked it, tape it up so you don't accidentally get your paint on the little cross, because we don't want a yellow cross beside the sunflower. So I've dipped my brush in the yellow. Because we've got a huge center here, we will just have a little bit more on our brush. And you could tape that off for your green there if you wanted to. I'm just kind of coming in from the sides. And this will probably be all covered up by the time we get to the end of our stencil. So really, the main part you want to concentrate on are these outside edges of our sunflower. And you can go over that a little bit more if you wanted to. So that's that part. Now we want to do the green leaves. So again, what I'm going to do is go over the leaves with let's start with a lighter green, and then I'll do the darker green on the second layer, because the layers kind of work well. I don't know, that's just the way I decided to put it. So I've got two greens here. You can see the difference. This is a lighter green and this one's a bit darker, in similar tones too. So yes, Joyce Ann, it would be easy to just paint over those markings, so that's why I'll just tape them up until I need to line up the next one, and then you can line it up using your pencil markings. Okay, so for my leaves, I can just grab another brush. I've got this color, which is Carriage House, so you can use any two different tones of green that you like. And this one's a little bit lighter, so I wanted a green that's going to stand out against the black, so I didn't want it too dark. And we've got our stem right there. You can tape that off, like I said, to distinguish the two areas, but I think that we've done just fine on that one. So we've got our lighter green, and now that is our first layer done. So layer stencil, sunflower number A, letter A, sunflower A, layer 1, done. You might like that just like it is, and you might like your sunflower to just stay like that, but you've got options. If you want it like that, that's great. I'm going to lift that layer up. We'll take our tape off, and that is our first layer. Now remember, I had the registration marks covered up. Just going to hold on to these. Those are the little crosses, and if you've drawn your crosses on with the pencil, that will help you to line up layer 2. So remember, we're working on sunflower A, so make sure we've got A at the top, layer 2. So we get layer 2. All the instructions are right there on the back of your stencil packaging too. So you would line up your little crosses, but I'm just going to literally line up my sunflowers. Have I got that right? Yes. And so now we're going to choose our other color, green. I should have done my layer, what do you call it? Should have done my registration marks, because that's what they're there for. So I've got my registration mark dots lined up. I'm going to put that down there, and now I'm using the other color of the yellow, which is a mustard color that I've chosen. And then I'm going to choose, doesn't have to be the same size, so I'm just choosing another size brush. Oop. And oop. Are we following along? Who likes the layers? It's really helpful to those of us who aren't artists, but also instead of taping off all the little sections that you'd like to do differently, it's layering it on top. So I'm now going over with the mustard color, and that is going to fill in these parts of the yellow, these parts of the sunflower. Don't worry, we're not going over all of the yellow. That yellow is going to serve as a background for some parts of it, because I can still see there's yellow bits shining out outside of that. So we're doing the mustard yellow It's actually called Mustard by Fusion Mineral Paint, but you can choose any sort of shades of yellow that you would like. Penny, you're a big fan of the layering? Yes, Cindy says you love layering with the layering stencils. It just does make it so much easier. And I love that they just lay out the instructions really nicely. But then you've also got our lives that stay on the Facebook page, so you can always come back and check on how we've done the layering stencils if we've done it on a live. Okay, now I did the light coloured green, which is the carriage house. Now we've got a slightly darker green, which is bayberry. So again, I'll need another little brush. Now because I'm not going over that again, I'm just going to use this green here, this brush, which is the darker one. Yep, bayberry's darker. You may not tell a lot of difference. I mean, I feel like there's, excuse me, I've just got to plug in my laptop because I saw that the screen was fading and I took it out to put my hairdryer in to dry the stencil. Okay, so now I'm using this darker bayberry colour after using the carriage house green for that. And it is a bit darker, so you should see a little bit of a difference. But if you wanted a higher contrast, I've got the two together here. It may not be a great contrast. I could have gotten a different colour green, but we'll see how it looks. See if you can tell. But yes, if I was to do this again, I didn't really realise that this one's kind of close in the tone or the shade to that carriage house colour. Sort of like olivey colours, bayberry, and the carriage house is just a bit lighter. All right, so, and I think these sunflowers would look great as a trio along next to each other. I think that's what they're supposed to be, actually. So that's our second layer. So that is, yeah, and I can't really see a great difference. So if I was doing this again, let's see if I can add, have I got some white? I might do that again because that green is really not dark enough to contrast against that. So I might make it the lighter green and just add a bunch of white right now to that. So I will get that green back out again, and I'll use some of my white chalk paint and see if I can't make just a bit of a different greeny colour. There we go. So now I'm going to add that instead. I've got that all in the right place because I really want that to contrast where it's almost like the highlights of the leaves, making it look like, yeah, there's little differences in the variations of the leaves. Okay, so all I did there was added a little bit of white to make that colour. So you do want some greens with different contrast. Oop, blipped a blop on there. I think it's just a bit of a crumb of some chalk paint. Let me just see. Ah, go away. There we go. So now we can see the contrast. See the green leaves? So now it looks like a 3D picture. Now we haven't finished. We've got 2 more layers to go. They're very small layers. It's just the center right in here. So I'm going to use a darker brown for the first part, which is the Fusion chocolate color. Okay, so if you missed the free gift stencils that I showed earlier, you can go back and see those. But just be aware that Essential Stencil is running low on those free gift stencils, so you may not be able to purchase them later. So that is for the tiers. If you purchase $50, $65 or $90 worth of product on essentialstencil.com, you automatically get a free gift. Use my code I restore stuff and you get 10% off. So there's that. Okay, this is Sunflower A. It's etched up in the top, but you can't probably see that. And this is layer 3 and layer 4 on the one thing. So we've got the center here, which again, your registration marks will line up. I'm not going to bother taping them up now because I can see where it goes. And it's a long distance from where I have to stencil. So now we're going to grab a little brush again. We're going to do this dark chocolate brown color. Hold it steady. And this is in the center of the sunflower. So we've got our little centered bit. And then lastly, we will do, I can't pick it up with my fingernails. There's the center, and then we're putting the little bits on top. So I will just give that a quick wave dry. And don't go anywhere, people, because we will be picking winners very soon for our live giveaway. So that's a dark color called chocolate, and then I'm going to use Woodwick, which is a nice lighter color. Yeah, someone just mentioned they love sunflowers because you can literally use them all seasons, all the way to fall. There's spring, I think there's summer, and I think that they are great for fall also. So, yep, sunflowers we can use in multiple seasons. Just drying that really quickly. And then our last layer, it'll say layer 4 for sunflower A, and you can line that up again with your registration marks. If you've penciled them in, don't forget to rub out the pencil lines afterwards. Don't use too heavy stencil lines either. Okay, so this brown, I'm going to use a really, what's our smallest stencil brush? What are you? I think smallest is our 1/2 inch. I may even use a touch of white for that also, because I feel like it's not as brown. So I'm just going to add a tinge of white to that, and we'll make it a bit lighter brown. And we're going on here to just finish off our sunflower. And this is the layered sunflowers, which will come in the spring collection. It's available for pre-order now at essentialstencil.com. You can use my code IRestoreStuff, or any of the links will actually put that code automatically at the checkout. Any of my links that I've posted about today. So that is it for that one. Lifting that up, and I'll show you, you can see all of the different layers there from the sunflower set. So let's have a look at what we've done today. Woo, how cute is that? So now that's going to go in my board for a gorgeous sunflower sign. I can get that in. I'll show you those layers, and then we will pick our winner, folks. So there it is. So you can see up close all the different layers and all the instructions right there for you. Isn't that cute? It's just simple little sunflower sign. Don't forget to use my code IRestoreStuff. And here is the one we did earlier. So if you did miss our earlier live, I taught you another technique of using an embossing paste to do raised edges, and then adding the glaze on top to make that sit into the little grooves and crevices. It also sits into the grains of the wood and creates a fun antique look. So that's that. So that is from these ones from the Stencil of the Month Club, which you can join until Friday. They've opened it up until Friday. Let me know if you see any winners on, because I am going to be announcing those in a minute when I see them. Oops, sometimes I don't see them, so you have to let me know. And then there's our sunflower with the layering. So there's not just one sunflower, there's 3 different looks. So one is sort of facing upwards, and another one's at a different angle with the leaves going a different way. So there's 3 different sunflowers. It would look gorgeous in a trio of sunflower signs. So there's all that as well. So we've done the embossing, we've done the sunflower today, and now we're ready to pick some winners for our live giveaway. And each of our winners today will win a $20 gift voucher from Essential Stencil. So don't forget to use my code at both Essential Stencil for 10% off on anything on the Essential Stencil website. That includes the spring bundle that's now available and the Easter bundle, which will be on the website and it'll be on the app on Sunday night. It'll be on the website on Monday. Don't forget, use my code on any of those places. All right, I can see the winners. Today we have Terry, Hazel, and Lisa. Terry, Hazel, and Lisa. If you've been tagged, some of you may not see your tag, but you can email support@essentialstencil.com. They're going to send you a $20 gift card to spend at Essential Stencils. So thank you all so much for watching. I can't wait to see you next week on another live DIY. Go and follow me over at irestorestuff.com, or you can look up at irestorestuff on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, all of the places. Follow me there. Thank you so much, guys. I will see you next week. Bye.